next quarter. Great little feature. So this next step is something that I really like, and we do have faculty who have turned this feature on. It's not a feature that carries with an account or a user. It carries with the course. So it's probably a setting that you'll have to turn it on quarter after quarter, but it's a really helpful feature. And what it is it places your announcement at the top of the home page. So whenever your student goes to log into the course, they will land on the page and suddenly there will be these lines up here of recent announcements. And it will list chronologically the announcements that you have done recently. And this currently is set up to only list the most recent 3, but you can do more than 3 if you want. I think 3 is pretty safe. Usually 3 is, by the time you're getting to the third oldest announcement, it's more than a week and a half back or 2 weeks back, and that's not as applicable to students. So 3 is usually a good case. So to get this feature to appear, and it shows up really nicely on cell phones and responsive screens, tablets, that sort of thing. It shows up really nicely. So it's a great way to get announcements right to your student, instead of having them click on announcements or some other manner of getting access to the announcements. They still have to click on it to open it and read it, but it's right here, right in their face, right when they land in the course. So to get this setting to work and to go, you go into your course and you scroll down to settings, and once you're on the settings page, you'll scroll down to the very bottom and there is a more options. It's kind of a hidden setting here, going back to what I was saying earlier, kind of an odd, interesting hidden setting. And it's the very first setting that will appear, show recent announcements on course homepage, and then you can select the number of announcements that you want to appear on that homepage. Click that, settings, and then update course settings. Go back to home, and your announcements will begin to appear at the top of your homepage. Students will instantly see them. If you're posting your weekly videos, which you should be, through announcements, your videos will appear. Your weekly start to the week video will appear at the very top here. It's an excellent little feature. Unfortunately, it's not default, but it could be if we continue to, if you do it once in the course that you teach and we use that container again, it'll carry, but otherwise you'll have to go in and redo it each quarter.
Nicholas, we got a great question from Jeff Robinson, and I think, Jeff, I think that I can safely say, if you hang on to this question, Nicholas is going to cover this in a second. He's asking, is there a way that faculty can get updated on new features in Canvas as they're released? And I think, Nicholas, that might be relevant to cover with your topic coming up about notifications.
Yeah, and I do. I have a link. I can share it in the chat. To Jeff's point, every month they're pushing out 4 to 5 updates. Some of the funniest little things, like when a student submits an assignment, in about a month, this will be true. It'll be released. But when a student hits submit assignment, little fireworks appear around the button. That one's coming. There's some really fun little goofy ones too, and also some very good, effective, efficient updates and features coming too. But there's some pages that Canvas releases and pushes updates to, and I'll share that link for sure.
I know, and Nicholas will cover notifications here in a second, because there's downsides to signing up for those updates, which is you're going to get a lot of notifications of things that don't interest you at all.
Yeah.
So you just have to kind of play with it. And then Diana is asking, how do those announcements get moved off the homepage?
Oh, that's a great question. So they won't be moved off unless there are newer. So say you only make 3 announcements the entire quarter. Those 3 announcements will appear, and you have the settings set. Those 3 announcements will appear at the recent announcements There might be some sort of hidden rule. I'm unaware of if it falls off after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I can look into that. That's a great question, but I don't believe they fall off after a given period of time. I can look into it. I'll follow up with you. That was Diana McCory. Okay, I can follow up with her and make sure of that feature, because I don't think it's something you said here, but it might have to do with the recent announcement phrasing.
And
So there may be something.
she's asking, just to clarify, and I think the answer is yes, that they'll show up in both announcements and on the homepage when you have this setting turned on, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Yep. So instead of the students having to click here, it'll just appear here. Hopefully they've learned that maybe they need to go back to an older one that's not appeared. They'll click on the announcements tab and go into it. But this one just keeps the 3 most recent, 3 last announcements posted. Great. So I hope that was helpful. I think this is a great setting to turn on and just get your announcements, which are usually like really pertinent, really important that they read up front visually in their face as soon as they log into the course. So with that, we'll go on to